5 worst inside-out dribble habits. These can keep you from faking out your defenders. It could end up with the ball getting stolen, and it's definitely going to keep you from being as effective with creating something off the dribble. Each one of these habits I'm going to give you in this video is going to hit on those different elements. These are things I see a lot with beginner players, but also quite a bit with advanced players. And the last tip is something I haven't really heard from anyone else, and it's super overlooked. It can make an instant impact in how effective your inside-out dribble is, so you'll definitely want to catch that. Just by focusing on these 5 habits and working with players, I've seen them been able to dramatically turn around how effective that inside-out dribble is in game situations really, really quickly. Be sure you stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to have a way for you to take all this stuff next level. Coach Jesse Muench with Get Handles Basketball, where we train harder and smarter so you can play like the pros. If that's something you're looking to do, make sure you subscribe and click that bell icon to catch the newest videos. Very first problem with the inside-out dribble that I see with a lot of players is they will do it way too high. In certain game situations, there's a use for that, like more on a fast break and you got a lot of room to work with. A little bit of a higher inside out isn't necessarily a problem, but I see a lot of players when they're really tight to their defender, they'll do that inside out dribble at hip height. Now, I'm not one of those super old school coaches that says to never dribble at shoulder height, because if you watch like Iverson on his crossover, Kyrie, you know, a lot of NBA players, they'll dribble the basketball all the way up there and use it to their advantage from time to time. But on the inside out dribble, the way you're moving the basketball and covering all this space here right in front of your defender, doing it high is probably not a very good option when you're tight, because there's a better chance of it getting stolen. So you want to focus on trying to keep this one around waist height or lower. That'll instantly make it a lot more effective. If that tip helps, click that like button, leave a comment, say this helps. Next thing that I see with a lot of players is when they're doing the inside out, they'll look right at their defender to see if they're faking them out. If you're not really faking them out, if you're looking at them, if you're trying to fake to come this way, you wouldn't look at your defender, you would look over here, right? What you want to focus on is the space over here. So if my defender's here, I would kind of focus just past them on the floor. Because usually when you drive, that's what you're going to look at, right? So same thing with your crossover, and also same thing with your inside out. Get your eyes off of your defender and start focusing on this spot here. Use your peripheral vision to see what's going on over here, and don't look that way until the basketball gets back in your hand after the inside out dribble. That'll help you sell that fake a lot more easily and quickly. You'll be surprised what a difference this makes in your ability to shift that defender. Next bad habit that ties in with the last one is a lot of times when players are going to look at their defender, they'll also tend to fake the basketball towards their defender. This kind of ties in with doing a high inside out as well. If you're faking with the inside out more towards your defender, better chance they could steal the basketball because you're putting it right by them, right? So typically you want to keep the ball kind of close to your hip, basically one basketball's distance away from your hip at the most. I try to keep it even tighter than that if I can, right here, so that way it's further away from them. I can get my hand in front to protect if I need to, and I don't really have to worry about them stealing the basketball. Use the ball to fake out and towards the direction you're trying to move, not out towards the defender. Fourth bad habit is not using the feet. If you want to sell a fake, you've got to use your feet to sell that fake, because if you're going to move one way, you're going to move that way with your body, right? If you're not getting that footwork involved, your defender, again, probably won't shift. They might see the move coming. They might steal the basketball. Bare minimum, they're going to jump back in front of you, or not at least shift out of your way and be ready to move with you. Adding that little step in, though, it gives them enough to at least lean this way and give yourself the opportunity to blow by them this way. One exception to this rule, though, is if you're really tight to your defender. In that situation, you might not have the room to get this step off if they're right here, because you'd be kind of stepping into them. The ball's closer to them, so you could get called for a charge, get the ball stolen, all kinds of stuff, right? In those situations, focus on that last tip we talked about, keeping the ball tight to you. Keep your feet wide and just lean your hips and your chest into that direction. When you're that close, those little movements and looking that way is enough to get a lot of defenders shifting. Fifth bad habit, and this is the tip I haven't heard from really anybody else, and it's a big one that a lot of players are overlooking, and then I'm going to give you the ways to take this next level. The big thing that I see a lot of players missing on the inside out dribble, even me, like I noticed I have a problem with this, is getting that snap on the release, because it's such a complicated move as far as the mechanics of your body. Maybe not complicated mentally to understand how to do it, but what's going on with your wrist, right? Rotating over the basketball, the arm moving, rotating in with the shoulder, all that, the elbow moving, there's a lot involved, right? So since you're in that position, it can be hard to add some good snap to that dribble. But if you're not adding that snap to their dribble, here's some things that could happen. Number one, the ball is going to be kind of floating in air a lot longer because it's a soft release, so the defender could get to the basketball. But number two, if I snap it more, now I can get the basketball back in my hand. But if I don't do that, it's floating in air. Now it makes anything I want to do from it a little bit slower. Even if I want to push the ball forward, you might say, you know, like, well, you could leave it exposed to come forward and cover more ground. Yeah, true, but if there's not enough snap on it, it's not going to get very far, is it? Working on getting that pop on the end of the dribble is going to be huge for making it quicker to transition into a shot, to transition into exploding past your defender, and it's just going to keep the ball from getting stolen. One final thing to take this next level and all these habits is to not just always do the inside out dribble, right, and go, because that's going to make you a little bit predictable. So you have to have counter moves, and there's probably no better counter move than the crossover. You see a lot of NBA players, they'll go from this inside out dribble into a crossover as a setup or a way of faking the defender out hard this way to come this way. This YouTube video has got 10 different crossover variations that you can add to the end of this. If you want to see 5 of the worst dribbling habits, period, check out this video. Click that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon to catch the newest videos